players coming in and how he was in this league, he won this league, and then he did not get an opportunity. He went down to the I League, won the league out there, and got promoted with his side. And then comes in with a surprise to hold on to Manolo Marquez FC Goa. And getting 2 points in the first 2 matches. Not a bad start, but you would expect better. Keralablasters, on the other hand, now on never situation. The frustration has been building over the last couple of seasons, and they've lost a few key players like Atrin Luna, who will certainly be missing. But if Victor Bartomeu, Kevin Yoff, and Matthias Hernandez step up to fill that void and get them the goals and points, they will more than happily turn them into their heroes. It's very easy out here to become a fan favorite. You perform and you really become the star for these Manjapara fans around.
You've seen it firsthand, Waswar, how crazy Kerala is about their football and footballers, and one game can change the fortunes around for this club. You know this club's fans will be behind them thick and thin, but it's time for people like Victor to step up, Danish, Within, Koro, everybody to step up.
We were having a look at the formations and the lineups a while ago, where we saw that back 5 from the Keralablasters. Does that really make any change in terms of how they play today's game, or like, do you think it is a positive change for them?
I also look at the Keralablasters back 5 and I see that Matthias can also step into the midfield if need be. So maybe at times we can see an overloaded midfield rather than an overpacked defensive unit. We know Nauja will love to go up and down those wings trying to
sound for the official already. They just not leaving the official panel with Sanjay Amatya, the fourth official experience panel, but the 2 captains, very experienced now in Indian football, Danish Farooq and Sumit Pasi. Very interestingly, another new role for Sumit Pasi.
I think Sumit Pasi is very versatile, from defensive duties to midfield duties to being a striker. You know, he can do it all, and maybe that's why he's such an integral part of this Kashi side and leading them up. Danish Farooq, on the other hand, Wasser, we've seen him play for Keralablasters over the course of a couple of seasons, and now, you know, it's time for the Indian boys also to step up and become leaders of their sides, and that's exactly why Danish Farooq is also the captain tonight for David Katala.
David Katala not too eager to answer the questions of suspicion around, more eager to focus on what they can do next. He said they would look to make up for the mistakes they have made and try to do what they've done well already.
I think in the seasons as short as this, sometimes, you know, transition takes time, but David Katala will know that, you know, his time's running out. He spoke about Habas a little while earlier. We know he's a very esteemed coach. He's proved himself in all aspects of Indian football, and now he's got another task at hand, because Keralablasters, another team which is trying to find its groove, and Habas also said this at times, you know, you can't take Kashi for like granted, and at the same time, you can't take Keralablasters for granted either. They're a team in transition, but it's not going to be easy, for sure.
Narendra Kellogg in the back line, playing a different role, at least on pen and paper. Wayne Bars, Nischal and Sandip Mandi, an all-Indian back line. Not often we see that, but they have been effective. Wayne Bars last season though, he played an entire season with Rajasthan United as a defensive midfielder.
Another defensive-minded player, Wayne was, and now we'll also play with Nischal. I think for me, Nischal is also one of those centre backs will be doing great for Indian football. He's tall, he's well built, he's a leader at the back. So, it's good to see Wade Vaz and Nischal also proving that combination to see how it works. So it'll be important how they can stop somebody like a Victor or those late runs coming in from Vivian and Danish Farooq into the box. So they also have to be compact and communicate amongst Sandeep Mandi and who can also, in my opinion, play as a centre back if needed. So maybe if Habas is thinking, what if I go down? He doesn't have to make a change. He can also switch to a back three if need be.
Very nice idea, actually. He's thought the same way too. Attacking. Look to settle down. We have 4-4-2. They have even.
That would be easy for Keralablasters to break down 2 lines of 4, and we know our side is always very well organized. But we spoke about the defense a few moments earlier, but credit for me has to be given to Rohit Dano as well. He's been a live wire down the wings for the kashi.
We switch out towards Pasi, who does well to find the pass with the first touch. Moya trying to take it away from the cabbages. Would have been going to get it. And now Dano with a snapshot. Works the keeper straight away.
Morris winning the ball back cleanly in the eyes of Tejas Nalwinkar in the middle of the park, and we spoke about the live fire. Rohit Dano firstly getting his shot off rather quickly, making it difficult for us, not letting him settle down. And now the first corner of the game against the Keralablasters.
A first knock on that goal scoring door. Sergio Lamas delivers back-to-back corners for Kashi.
Kashi not short of physicality inside that box, just need a better delivery coming in this time.
And certainly better than the previous. Trying to get away from Sergio Lamas, who does very well to just maintain his composure, not go into the challenge, and just push it.
Versatile, you can see that pass early, he can do his defensive duties, Sumit Pasi, and when you've got the energies of somebody like Rohit Dano, it's not just the internationals that Keralablasters have to be careful about.
You were very right on saying that Keralablasters might also move to a man more in the midfield, but surprisingly, it looks like Naucha, who is playing out wide left.
We spoke about this earlier, that Naucha has the engine to go back and forth, and that's exactly what David Katala wants from him. When defensively need be, they can switch to a back five, but when they're in attack, he wants Naucha to join the likes of Vipin, Danish, Victor and Koru from the other side of the wing. So it's an interesting tactic, but also we have to remember, it's coming down to becoming summer now. How long in this Kerala heat will even somebody like a Naucha with lungs as big as he's got continue that pace?
Very hard, especially while defending, as we mentioned, a lot of running to do off the ball. Very calm first 8 minutes of the game. Both teams just trying to test out one another. None of them going on a high press.
It's only fair they do that. We'll also want some points on the board. And this game will have a winner. Both these teams will want to come out with all 3 points tonight.
Nice little touch there from Tanu on the build-up. They were not expecting that pass from Alfred Moyer. You have to be ready, and I'm sure that chemistry will grow with time. It's still a new side into Kashi in terms of the players coming in. Apart from Sumit Pasi and Tomba, all of them in the attacking area have joined the side this season.
The idea was right from Alfred, but the ball should have been played around the floor. That was a clever idea to just dink that ball a little, but I'm sure even though down, he must have been expecting that to feed. And you rightly mentioned some of the attacking unit, or the players added into the attacking unit are new, so that there will be that bit of understanding and communication. It's about knowing your team, it's about knowing your players, and maybe that's what's needed for the Kashi side moving forward.
Comfortable at the moment, Keralablasters, but it's all down to how they deal with pressure. With 0-0 on the scorecard, not really that amount of pressure, a nice adjustment of the body to find the pass forward from Sumit Pasi, and there will be a free kick in favour of Keralablasters.
Right on cue, as we spoke about Danish Farooq being the disruptor in the middle of the park. He knew he was out of position, just making sure that the attack does not continue right under the nose of Tejas Nagwenkar.
And no goals in the first 10 minutes, but one attempt from Rohit Tan testing Ash Anwar Sheikh. Remember, he saved the penalty as well against Mumbai City in the previous game. 9 games, and with the Mohan Bagan reserve side in the past before joining the Blasters. Learned the necessary traits.
On that occasion, just not being able to keep the ball. But once when that attack was beginning, we spoke about the overload in the middle of the park. Even the shape for Keralablasters in attack is coming down to a back three, with Nauja and Sandeep both stepping into the middle of the park to add numbers towards the attack. So it's a good idea. Defensively, they stay in the shape of man defending, but when they go into attack, there's Sandeep also joining alongside Nauja. This is interesting, but they'll have to be careful because the pace of Rohit Dano, especially from his left side, could cause a few problems.
Nice ball forward, but the flag might go up against Rohit Dano. It was a risky pass to start this attack at the back. But again, another side of it, Keralablasters were very effective down the wings with Koro and Nihal, but today they have added Kevin York, who looks sharp as well. But because of this strategy, these two are very silent at the moment.
It's interesting to see how Keralablasters keep settling in with the overload in the middle. We were speaking about Kevin York a moment earlier. We could see him making that run down the channel. What that does is it leaves Victus to stay in and around the box or inside the box, while his teammates like Koru, Nauja, even Kevin York deliver those balls to him, which is quite interesting to see because we spoke about this earlier that they need goals. Keralablasters, they need a win. They need to start scoring those goals to make sure that they can accumulate points on the board. On the other hand, you spoke about the riskiness of playing the ball out from the back for Kashi. We always know that the Ahava side can switch to direct play if need be, or they love to keep the ball as well as they are moving the ball around now.
Rocked up possession. That'll be a free kick for the Blasters. Short challenge from Tomba, but how about those touches on that passing move? A little chest pass from Sumit Pasi, the first touch from Tomba. Before this, not the one here. And this was not really the best of touches, which is why you have to give away the free kick.
Sumit Pasi with a brilliant pass. We spoke about him being a striker, but that's what you get when you play a striker who's versatile. He gives you that bit of trickery, the confidence that he shows, and then he's one of the leaders. But he's also leading with that bit of confidence for sure.
The best part is, might not have always been the sharpest or the best, but he keep working. and keep working to get better in their career. And that's the point they've reached now. And that is certainly not one thing he would want to do, or get into the book at least. Gets away with this one, free kick for Blasters.
That's a good turn from Kevin. He knew there could be a tackle coming from right behind him, just riding that and winning a free kick for Keralablasters. It also gives an opportunity for the tall players from Keralablasters to step into the box, especially Omar Bach and get in. You got Danish, who's also been one of the scorers from set pieces.
Now Omar Bach with a free header out there. No one marking him. Just evades his defenders and gets away with a free chance, which he at least should have kept on target.
That's a brilliant delivery coming in from Vivin. Omar had the space but just could not guide it goalwards. The questions will surely be asked Vaskar about the marking from Kashi. How could there be so much space? Omar got the header, but if you just keep looking at the replay again, you had a couple more Keralablasters players free.
I think we were discussing the same, well, we have to wait for that discussion to continue. Kashi has stolen it in a great area. Last touch of Omar Bach. On the other end of the pitch now, it is a corner for Kashi.
That's risky from Keralablasters, trying to play the ball out from the back. Almost getting themselves into trouble. Luckily, the last touch coming off Omar Bach, all Kashi could get was a corner. It could have been disastrous from almost scoring at one end to conceding at the other.
Such a mass to the far post. No one up there. Wasted corner.
Wasted opportunity. This is where both these teams have to get better, especially when you're in the attack. Set pieces are a big part of modern day football, and teams need to start using it to their advantage. Understand where they can be better. On that occasion, Kashi completely letting a chance score. But it's just 16 minutes on the clock. It's the first game between the two sides. Both the coaches on both sets of players just measuring their opponents out. And I'm sure this game will pick up pace and goals will come.
Was trying to pick up pace with that cross coming his way. Heavy touch from Devin. Tomba wanted Sumit Pasi to turn into a flash, but possession given away. Trying to dribble his way past. It is a free kick. Give it once again. Wayne was a bit too strong in that challenge.
Looks like a free kick. Wayne coming in to win the ball. Trying to get out of that tackle as well. He's getting a lot more of Nacha than the ball. The referee going for a free kick, but if you look at Wayne Vaz on paper, he was playing as a centre-back, and if you see where that foul is, that's on the halfway line of the wing-back's position. Maybe that's where Nischal has to be speaking to his centre-back partner, saying, it's not our job, let's just lock shop, make sure our duties are well met and tight. Let somebody like Narendra Karot or Simo close them down to keep their shape, because yes, they're trying to break the game down, but also, we know Tejas, he's not shy of giving out cards. And how many more fouls before they start coming out now?
And also the fact that I mentioned a while ago, Wayne Vaz was playing as that defensive midfielder last season, so maybe he has that habit in his mind to just move up ahead of his defense line. And that is a risky habit, even though in the past he used to be a centre-back in his Churchill Brothers days.
But modern day football Waswar needs you to understand your position and needs you to adapt rather quickly to the position you're asked. The defensive role is the same, whereas your job is to make sure that the attacks are cut out and destroyed as much as possible.
That is what he does well this time. Very comfortable in possession in Kashi when they have the ball at the back. No rushing, just waiting for the options to be available. Back with them again. Mitchell again trying to take that risk. Koro doing well to close it down for the second time now. This time Koro has won the battle. Love expectations and support for Koro. The youngster doing so well, keeping his spot in the first 11 regularly. And now Alfred Moya, that has come through to Petkevich's. Slight bit of extra power added behind that shot, takes it off target.
That's good work from Kashi, making sure they're composed and patient on the ball, and finally that movement from Norris is brilliant inside the box. Goes one way, then comes back the other, getting in front of the Keralablasters players to make sure he can get something on that. It was Matthias on that occasion that Norris got in front of, just could not keep it on target.
And now Keralablasters have a chance. Now Jack, not a bad delivery at all. That forces Sandip Mandi to make the clearance. First corner for Keralablasters.
That's good work. Quick transition into the attack. Kevin York just holding onto the ball, waiting for Nauchak to go on the overlap. Ball just could not get in front of his defender. Aware, but not eager enough to get in front of Mandi to get a touch towards goal. But again, an opportunity for Keralablasters this time was to make use of their set piece. We've seen a few mishit or overhit set pieces from Kashi. Can Keralablasters do better?
Whipping to the center, punched out by Campos. And now Jack flying the spectacular. And we'll all stand spectators, it just sails off.
That's a great punch out from Lewis. Just look at the distance on that, and then Nauchak trying to just hook that ball back towards goal, trying to catch Lewis unaware. Just could not keep it on target. I was going through a lot of news articles and trying to find as much information as I could about him. One fact came about, he's also amongst playing for sides like Cordoba B, he's also played in the Kings League as a goalkeeper, in the Kings 7th side league as a goalkeeper.
That's interesting now. I'm sure you could help me with the stats up next.
Well, that's your job. As long as I'm not helping you with your first stats, all your stats were good.
Yeah, I have to get to my first touch every time, doesn't it?
You know, that's when you know it needs to get better.
So we're getting the right way, Keralablasters at the moment. They've talked about many teams missing many key players. I'm sure Kashi are missing a few big guns out here. Shawnee Kauko released, Nikola Stojanovic, who got the assist against East Bengal for Jamshedpur last night. They've left Edmund Lalunida, who as well scored the goal for East Bengal. And then Mario Parko is with them, but not available at the moment.
Always have faith in bringing some reinforcement. It has to be Havas who is coming in football. There is somebody like a Jairane who will know how creative he can get as a number 10. quite interesting to see when and how can Kashi and Havas use these players from the bench. You've got Prabir as well, Nishu Kumar with his World Cup experience. There's a few players that can maybe add more firepower in the attack with his World Cup experience. Come in. Chand, we both saw how well he was doing in the Super League. It's time for him to show up for Kashi in the ISL. He already did with a goal to his name.
Right, so is there another long ranger coming up? There was, but it was blocked in time. Nacha. He can be out finally out wide. Narendra supported by Pasi. 2 to beat. Has got a back full of trades. Gets away from them too. But then blocked and Sumit Pasi recovers. But only to give it away to Shahid. A wonderful pass. And Naucha has a chance to find 2 in the area. Only finds Nishchal Chandan.
That's a good attack from Keralablasters, but look at the number of bodies for Kashi on defensive duties. I think Kevin York definitely showing that displeasure towards players, letting him know that there's some off-the-ball tackles flying in at points. But this is the context for these kind of things are going to come your way. Opponents are going to try to get under your skin. You just have to find a way to get on with it.
The attempt will result in a corner. Habas is not happy because his side is allowing those long shots coming their way.
It's good and bad because you can see Keralablasters right from the wing towards the left especially, but haven't got no goals to show for it, and then they've been restricted to those long shots because of the number of bodies that Keralablasters has behind the ball. So it is frustrating Keralablasters, but they have to be careful how much they allow.
Not a bad delivery, but Kashi looking to go on the counter. Alfred Moya has made the run. Tamba was right to spot it as well, but could not release it well.
Just needed some more weight on that ball, or maybe this time that chip was available with the acres of space in front of Alfred to run onto it from Tomba. But these are little measures, little passes that need to be better from both these sides. Mistral just trying to be doing better when it comes to keeping those shots on target. Doing better when it comes to keeping those shots on target. They try to create attacks of their own. Keralablasters, especially trying to attack through this left side of their attack. But no goals to show for it. Being restricted to shots. Maybe Goro needs to be brought into the attack a lot more. In the first few minutes of the game, we saw him being involved in the attack, but since then he's been rather silent.
Well done by Naucha again to win possession back. Here's Naucha. Wenba is doing so well to win possession back for his side as well, and Alfred Moya was running away with it. Shahid will take one for his team.
Just jumping into that tackle, making sure that even the ball's gone through, the man doesn't go through. But as centre backs, you've got to be careful of that. You've got to understand. You've got to understand that these tackles on the halfway line are just going to bring more trouble. Maybe this is an opportunity for both the coaches now to just tweak their formations and their ideas a little bit if need be.
That is the Twins break in the first half. Very steady tempo to the game. And I think, as we mentioned a while ago, they need to focus on keeping those attempts on target. Otherwise, you cannot really get goals. Only mere shots coming from distance, but going wide doesn't help anybody. Now the coaches will look to the bench so who played together a while ago, and now opponents here. Muhammad Asif in that Interkashi bench, and of course the likes of Adsal on the Blasters bench.
I'm sure 100% Adsal will get a chance at some point. We saw him during the Super League Kerala, and he's bringing in and around the box. Hunger to get at the end of things is something that Keralablasters. But apart from that, there's that Kahabas is trying to pass on to it. But apart from that, there's that Kahabas is trying to pass on to his teammates that they need to play football and be incisive and forward passing a little more from his team.
What every team needs is that one star factor, one key player who can change things. And both these teams are in search of that one key. You can really get the fans up on their feet. Once upon a time it used to be Robin Singh as well.
Speaking about that one Bhaskar, I also feel you're as strong as your weakest link. It's the whole team that needs to come together and build a strong unit. And I'm sure that's what Itagashi and both Keralablasters will be looking at, Bhaskar, because yes, that bit of sparkle or that spark is important, but at the same time, you need everybody in it together to get the fireworks going per se.
Has been working hard. That only shot on target from Interkashi has come from him. But here's the Keviches again from a difficult angle. Wipe that word off. It has turned easy for Norris Petkeviches. Interkashi have the lead against Keralablasters at their den. Expect the unexpected when it's Antonio Lopez Abasa in charge.
What a way to show himself in the Indian Super League. Norris, take a bow. We were all about to say that ball's been played a little too far wide from Alfred, but nothing to show, nothing to say to Norris. What a shot, getting a help from the crossbar a little bit, but so much power behind that shot. And Nash cannot even get a hand touch to it. The moves around, and what a move from Interkashi as well, making sure they can continue that final ball play through to from Alfred to Norris, and finally Norris got with a vicious attempt towards goal. And we got Interkashi with the lead in this early kickoff for us.
Second time in the tournament now that Interkashi have the lead. Here's Kevin York trying to cancel that out. Will be a goal kick. But now is the testing time for Blasters. They were playing comfortably so far, but how do they deal with going down by a goal?
At the moment, they'll have to find a way. They've got about 15 minutes, including added time, to find an equalizer or even to take the lead in this game. And that's enough time in a game of football. It takes only a second to change the game. And Keralablasters will look to reply to it soon enough and want to reply to it quickly. But what a finish from Norris. What a finish.
I think it's that kind of a finish that will sink into your mind gradually. The moment you saw the goal, you were like, oh, brilliant. But then when you see it again and think about it, you just realize how wonderful that goal was.
You think about the mistake in it. Maybe it was an overhit, overpass, too far out wide, but the only answer to that was Norris's bullet of a shot, having us not even get a hand touch to it or fingertips to it.
Just a goal. That's the message from Habas. There's a long way to go. He will hope they do not bottle another lead. Generally, his side are not habituated bottling leads. Might be a rare occasion, but he would expect his side to increase it if possible. If not, just try and hold on.
just a rare occasion where you sit down on the lead. And that's where Takashi maybe sometimes can lose that lead. But I'm sure they've learned from their past mistakes, and sitting on a lead will not be the right thing to do this time around.
At least with more than an entire half coming up, certainly Keralablasters have that quality to cancel this out anytime.
They surely do, even if the players that are on the pitch are not enough, the attacking prowess or the attacking options on that Keralablasters bench, especially today, are immense. And I'm sure even them can come and change the game if the need arises.
Sandeep has gone down, so has Sandeep Mandi.
Sandeep getting that last time, just putting his foot in there, maybe trying to lift that ball away from Sandeep Mandi, trying to on his side a free kick. Finally, when he gets back to his feet, the linesman letting him know that there's nothing to it.
And a few to mention from that bench, of course, we have the new addition from the United Kingdom. They have Marlon, who started the previous game, and Nihal is there. Atsal and Edinburgh can come on if needed. Very strong bench for the Keralablasters.
There were loads of options. Vas were on the bench as well, if Keralablasters needs. But if you look at the Kashi bench as well, you've got Prashant who can change the game. You've got the creativity of a Jayesh Rane that can also come and change. You've got somebody like an Ashish Jha as well. He's got pace. He's physically available. So these couple of boys, even for the Kashi attack inside, could cause issues to Keralablasters. And as this game goes on, Keralablasters will have to take those risks and commit men forward.
Given away almost, had he found that pass forward. And Tanu does very well to avoid the challenge from Sandeep. Away Tanu, stepping away. Still Rohit Tanu. Sandeep eventually gets a touch to it and gets it away for a corner.
Rohit Tanu, for the sparks in this Kashi attack, again taking on defenders, taking on players, and on this side another set piece or another corner. That's a first. A set piece symbol, moving corner flag.
That was rare. Blocked by Koro. Very interesting way to signal. Kashi have the lead, they have possession.
Somewhat in unfamiliar territory, taking on fullbacks. He got away, then had no idea what to do with it, waiting for options, waiting. But this is where Kashi need to do better. We spoke about those defensive unit that turns into a back three and developing a fullback. We'll have those opportunities to go forward. But maybe a slight more bit of communication from Sumit Pasi would be helpful to him going forward.
Getting up now. See the run from Danish. Naja was flat-footed.
Kerala again trying to create attacks from the left side. And I'm sure by now, Kashi to an extent must be accustomed to just dealing with those crosses coming in from the left side. Keralablasters need to switch it up a bit, just move that ball around towards this right side as they've done right now.
Very late into that challenge. Sandeep Mandi, the card will come out.
Sandeep played that ball. Guru. Mandi quite late on that ball. Rightly so goes into the yellow card.
Now they have a chance from the right hand side of the pitch, even though from set play. Wigan will fall to Victor Bartomeu, who's been silent over the last 42 minutes. Come by Venvas. Alamas finds Moya. Just knows how to earn free kicks, doesn't he?
Alfred knew there was a tackle coming in from Naucha, who was over eager to win that ball and continue the attack. All he had to do was just hold him off for a moment or so, and Kevin was there with him. But this is where Keralablasters have to show patience in defensive duties. The balls that have been whipped in attack from Wigan have been brilliant. Keralablasters just need to get at the end of one of them.
Oh, wonderful wait on that pass, but it's Naren on that wide. That's a beautiful cross in. Rohit Tanu just overrun it. Still within Kashi. But where did that come out from Narendra's locker?
Well, they probably heard me and just wanted to prove me wrong when he said that he was caught in unfamiliar territory. But that was a brilliant cross coming in. And the perfect way to play that through ball to begin with. And then again, brilliant move. Norris, you can see him in the box, gets ahead of his defender, and Rohit as well just could not get attached to it. Positive again from Kashi. But that movement from Norris has to be spoken about. Going one way, going the other way, asking questions of the defense, and almost getting at the end of that header.
I think Rohit Tanu learning from them as well a bit. Just trying to move in front of Sandeep and then suddenly switches around. Touch of Koro. Sandeep Mandi floating it in. Nischal was certainly onside. It was slightly away from it. And on at the end of 45. Can the Blasters get back to level terms before moving back to the tunnel?
It takes a second to change the game, and that's all the Keralablasters will be hoping for, that they get an opportunity, even if it's in added time of this game, and hopefully go into half-time with an equal scoreline. But at the moment it looks difficult because in defensive duties, Keralablasters on occasion look very eager to win the ball back and giving away needless fouls.
Very deep and very central is what I mean. Maybe that is the reason that they're moving more down that left channel. With Naucha again stepping away from Narendra. Koro was free. That was the plan. That was the plan coming from long. But he has somehow blazed it away.
That was the opportunity that Keralablasters were waiting for before they went into half-time. Brilliant work from Naucha to cut that ball back towards Koro, was making a run towards the inside, but just could not keep it on target. That's a great movement from Koro as well to leave that wing, come inside, but just the body positioning was not over the ball and he could not keep it on target. But that was the opportunity was for before the half-time whistle goes for Keralablasters to get back into this game and go into half-time on level terms.
It would have been very difficult to stop had it been on target. Coming out. A few more seconds to try and change that scoreline. In the first half itself, acceleration from Kevin York. No one at the far side. Too much on that pass. at the break. Sergio Lamar doing well to find the pass forward when needed. But it's Petkevichus who did the trick when not even expected. At halftime, it's the Keralablasters 0, into Kashi 1.
The Indian football fans, your league has a new hood. Sony Sports Network proudly welcomes the Indian Super League to the home of football.
And they finally have a breakthrough.
Watch the Indian Super League live on Sony Sports Network TV channels. This collection of electrifies generations.
Dad wants to go.
Now, it's on each one of those who fought before you.
Carry shots.
Write the next chapter.
Perfect day for him.
Become part of this epic story.
Full steam, by fire. It is magnificent.
Rivals forever. Dortmund versus Bayern.
Live on Sony Sports Network and Sony Live.
Life is boring. Life is dull. And complicated. Life needs some joy. Life needs spectacles.
That's why you're here.
Life needs USC 5 o'clock. One weight class, 5 days a week. Watch UFC 5 o'clock, Monday to Friday, 7 p.m. only on the Sony Sports Network. The Indian football fans, your league has a new hood. Sony Sports Network proudly welcomes the Indian Super League to the home of football.
And they finally have a breakthrough.
Watch the Indian Super League live on Sony Sports Network TV channels.
क्रिकेट के दीवानों 28 मई से दिवाली तक गूंजेगा इंडिया इंडिया का नारा स्पोर्ट्स नेटवर्क पर।
Pehla battleground England. 28 मई से Women in Blue versus England Women. और 1 जुलाई से Men in Blue का पहले कमाल होगा इंग्लैंड से। पहली टीम इंडिया टकराएगी श्रीलंका से। अगला दांव होगा एशिया कप क्राउन जीतने के लिए विमेंस एशिया कप और एशियन गेम्स 2026 on Sony Sports Network and Sony Live. The Indian football fans, your league has a Sony Sports proudly welcomes the Indian Super League to the home of football.
And they finally have a breakthrough.
Watch the Indian Super League live on Sony Sports Network TV channels.
Half-time at the JLM 40 Interkashi travelling here have taken the lead. A 34th minute strike from Petkevichus, calling that just a mere strike, will be left of praise. We'll have a look at the highlights of the game. The first chance though fell for Interkashi, after which the Keralablasters created this situation from where they could have at least tested the keeper.
Takashi then tried a few attacks off the road. Norris throughout the game looked dangerous with his movement inside the box. On that occasion could not keep it on target, but did get in front of his defender. Kevin York let that ball through to Naucha, who did put a lovely ball in, but not on the same length as Koro. than the attack and the goals. And we all thought it was overhit. But the only thing overhit was a shot that had too much power behind it that Ash could not even get fingertips. But he just connected it so well, beautifully hit with the beautifully hit with the laces. The angle was getting narrow, but not for Norris, who had a vicious strike.
Share the experience run as well.
जब तुम रहते थे चांदनी चौक में बारी मेरे घर आए थे जब मेरी बच्ची प्रियंका पैदा हुई थी और मुंबई आके तुम सितारा बन गए
जी।
अरे तो आंटी घरे गिफ्ट भिजवा देता
ऐसी क्या बात है, गिफ्ट क्या मैं खुद आ जाऊंगा।
हाय हाय
From the future to our right, Nova J, Sony Entertainment Television and Sony Live. This smash electrifies. Fantastical. Now, it's only to honor those who fought before you.
Carry shots.
Write the next chapter.
Perfect day for him.
Become part of this epic story.
Full steam by fire. It is magnificent.
Rivals forever. Dortmund versus Bayern.
Live on Sony Sports Network and Sony Live.
Watch the Zimbabwe Women Tour of New Zealand. Third T20I. Tomorrow, 5:45 a.m. on Sony Sports Network and Sony Live. The Indian football fans, your league, have you home. Sony Sports Network proudly welcomes the Indian Super League to the home of football.
And they finally have a breakthrough.
Watch the Indian Super League live on Sony Sports Network TV channels. 26, Sunday, 8 March, 5:30 a.m. live on Sony Sports Network and Live.
जब तुम रहते थे चांदनी चौक में हमने तो एक बारी मेरे घर आए थे जब मेरी बच्ची प्रियंका पैदा हुई थी और मुंबई आके तुम सितारा बन गए
जी।
अरे तो आंटी घरे गिफ्ट भिजवा देता
ऐसी क्या बात है, गिफ्ट क्या मैं खुद आ जाऊंगा।
हाय हाय
From the future to our right, Nova J, Sony Entertainment Television and Sony Live.
क्रिकेट के दीवानों 28 मई से दिवाली तक गूंजेगा इंडिया का नारा सोनी स्पोर्ट्स नेटवर्क पर।
पहला बैटलग्राउंड इंग्लैंड 28 मई से विमेन इन ब्लू वर्सेस इंग्लैंड विमेन और 1 जुलाई से मेन इन ब्लू का फिर कमाल होगा इंग्लैंड से। टीम इंडिया टकराएगी श्रीलंका से। अगला नाम होगा एशिया कप चांद जीतने के लिए विमेन्स एशिया कप और एशियन गेम्स 2026 और फिर होगा इस दिवाली पर इंडियन टेलीविजन का सबसे बड़ा ब्लॉकबस्टर न्यूजीलैंड वर्सेस इंडिया। तो जोर से बोलो 28 मई से दिवाली तक गूंजेगा इंडिया सिर्फ सोनी स्पोर्ट्स नेटवर्क के टीवी चैनल्स और सोनी लिव पर। 26 Sunday 8 March 5:30 a.m. live on Sony Sports Network and Sony.
Welcome back for second half action here at Kochi. And their home side trailing by a goal to nil against Kashi. Expectations were high and is always high, the stakes are high when you come to the Blasters 10. But this is one man who time and again, right from season 1 of the Indian Super League, has a habit of better of Keralablasters. If you remember that trophy triumph, the late winner from Mohammad Rafiq in the inaugural edition of the Indian Super League. There was this man on the touchline, Antonio Lopez Abbas. He is back again with this new look into Kashi's side. We're hearing a few things will be changed by the two head coaches, especially in personnel. You saw Kashi coming out of the tunnel. We'll certainly look at that very soon. But what needs to change in this half, Robin?
Keralablasters just needs to be a little more aware of that final ball, even if they're trying to play that long ball through. For me, it has to be Victor who challenges those balls, and the second balls get picked up by the likes of Danish, Farooq, Vivin and Nauja at the moment. And if not that, they need to be a little more composed when they're in ball possession. You need to find someone like a Vivin again who's got that great vision to find his wingers or full-backs moving up, apart from Victor in and around the box. Kevin York has been great. Maybe he needs to be found a little more. So it'll be interesting to see how Kerala Blasters sets up in this half, and we can already see 3 changes being lined up.
Edwin Das has come in place of Spanish Farooq. He will take up that attacking midfield role with Vivin sitting in, but get that in their back. The captain's armband has moved straight away as Omar Bar has made way for him.
Interesting to see. The captain's armband also goes off. Evan Das comes in. Danish Farooq also going off. It's clearly evident that David Castilla in this game wants more attackers on the pitch, and we'll have to see how long before they can find an equalizer in this game.
They almost did before the break with that Koro attempt going wide, but nothing on target from the Keralablasters yet. Is the major headache for them.
They'll have to find a way now. That's what they made the attacking changes. They still have a few options. It's just about seeing how many players they can commit forward in the attack. In the meantime, they're still just carrying the ball. Blasters players may be asking for a card for it.
Maybe just given the time on the clock and just gets away with it. Just enough. A new dimension in attack is what we'll see with Marlon, Ebin and Kevin York combining.
It will surely be interesting. Also, obviously, in the middle of the park, Kevin has been dangerous through just giving away a foul, but this is good work. Just applying the pressure on the kashi.
Nice touches on the way to find Kevin. And those little things go unnoticed in a game of football when you're watching as a viewer. Those are not really skills, but basic skill sets to have. The way Sergio Ramos turned on the ball while receiving it, just avoiding the pressure.
It's also being aware of your surroundings, so you know where your teammates are, you know what's in and around you, and Sergio, you know how good he is with his World Cup experience. Exactly what's around him to play that ball, or maybe play that ball first touch, win that foul. It's pretty good in the middle of the park for Kashi.
Confidently done there by Michel, but keeps it away. Giving to Marlon. Koro was right to look for the exchange, but the run was not made. A lot of possession, a lot of shots, but nothing on target from the Blasters. 2 out of 5 target from Intakashi.
That's good work. Again, Intakashi. Prashant waiting for options, waiting to see his teammates, especially Norris, can he make it into the box as soon as he knew that it was time to keep the ball. He's done very well to just slow the game down.
A good run there from Rohitanu, but it went down a bit easy. Tumbled, I would say, more than being knocked down.
For that's good work. Turning Sandeep inside out, getting the better of him, and then just trying to get inside the box. Was looking for a touch, but luckily enough, no Keralablasters players diving in, just tackle him inside the box.
Das. Thought for a moment he was thinking of the shot. Now Chuck. Looked over, went out of play before coming back in. Even though they started on a high, Keralablasters in the second half. 15 minutes played, 1 hour the clock reaches. Nothing to test the keeper yet.
Keralablasters need to find an end product now. They're attacking a lot more than the first half with a lot more intent, but that final delivery, that final cross, that final touch still evades the Keralablasters sides. Now they have to find a way where they can find a way to breach this into kashi defense line. Strip for everything that has been thrown at them.
If we look at that last match between Mumbai City and Keralablasters, I think we were discussing a lot about how Bartomeu has been very lonely up front with the strike partner, and that changed when Mohammad Afzal came on the pitch. And having a player like that, who might not be the most lethal of number 9, but just having that knack of scoring goals, that habit, the goals habit, he's done it in the Super League as we mentioned, he's done it in the Santosh after that for Kerala, and when in such form an under 23 player, you need to give him that game time, maybe very soon. Certainly the fact that oh boy, that's saved down. Alfred Moya has a chance to make it 2. Goes the wrong way, I believe, still a chance. Very calmly done by Sandeep.
Very good work. From into Kashi, they kept at it, they kept trying to push it, great movement as well to make sure that Alfred on that occasion stayed on side, just could not get his shot off. Now also was into the book for that tackle. Trying to win the ball from Prashant. He does get clipped. All eyes for the ball, but not enough for the referee's liking. It goes with the referee's book for a yellow card.
I think that's the only negative aspect of Nauja's game. Otherwise, he's such a fine fullback in the making. And then there's Lundim on the other side for Punjab FC. He's been time and again very consistent.
I think you have to find the right balance as a defender, when to put your foot in, when to be over eager, or just the timing of your tackles. They just need to be better, and I think that's something that comes with time. But I think it's now time for Atsal. We were speaking about Atsal for a while now, Vaswar. We've seen him, you were talking about, he's not the best or maybe, he's not the most lethal in the box. But the word that you used right there was habit. Every good striker or every attacker will tell you that swing is a habit. You can be as lethal as you want, as good or bad as you want. The right habits of scoring goals, you will always get on the score sheet, and I think he's got a habit of scoring goals, be it at the Super League, be it for the state team. He's been scoring goals everywhere he's gone.
And this man will hope he scores here for the Blasters as well. It is a different stage. But now eventually Victor Bartomeu has a strike partner that will give both of them some freedom alternatively.
I think when in doubt, you're right to shift to a 4-4-2 with Atsal coming on. Maybe that's what Victor will get now, a flat 4-4-2. And we can see it already. It's there. Victor's got the help of Atsal right behind him, and maybe that will help him with the movement as well, to just follow and mirror the ball.
And just to remind you as well, Axel had been a part of this Inter-Kashi side too, a couple of seasons ago. And then again, Prashant and Axel, they were teammates for Calicut. Months back, know a bit of each other.
And also, Master, me and you were watching the game where at some point we thought Axel's Calicut side were about to lose the game or not get on the winning side, and then Axel came off the bench with a brilliant header, got his team back into the competition.
Yeah, and the side they helped were the one where Edinburgh was playing. Now Marlon, back to you. For the first time in the game, you see him getting some involvement in that attacking area. And that is why you need partnerships building. Load again towards back to you once more. Well marshaled by Wayne Barnes, helps the keeper collect it safe.
That's what you get when you get two strikers involved. You can get one coming towards the ball and the other running away. And that's exactly what Victor is doing. If Axel's going short for the ball, Victor trying to get something at the end of that. Luckily, on that occasion, Lewis got ahead before Victor could get a touch. But both the strikers are working well off of each other. One goes short, the other goes long. The questions will be asked of this Inter-Kashi side now, especially defensively.
They're having to defend deep and face their play on counters now. But Habas has two cards on his bench. Jesh Rane and Seven Lemon Jongle. Vastly experienced in Indian football. Kenya. Whips it in towards Mohammad Axel. And that is the first attempt on target from the Blasters.
Axel again, right habits, getting away towards the far post, waiting for the delivery to come in, and does the right thing, heads it downwards, heads it to the bottom of the goal. Unluckily for him, Lewis was present at the right place with his wealth of experience. Lewis stopping that ball.
Oh, it is Matthias Swagger who is up in attack. Kenya takes a second extra for his attackers to get in position with those dribbles. Young delivers again. It was towards Axel once more. He was expecting a corner. A goal kick has been given.
That's good work again for Keralablasters, applying the pressure over and over again. Kevin York taking on two defenders, finally finding the space, whips in a corner. And he was right, Axel, to ask for a corner. Because if we keep looking at those replays, there seems to be the last touch coming up on Monday.
A yellow wave of attack right now. Inter-Kashi forced deep in their own half. How long can they resist pressure? That free kick will certainly take off some.
Katala not happy. Maybe this was the opportunity where they could just pile on the pressure again. Matthias, not sure about whether that was a foul or not, but in the eyes of things now, it was.
Inter-Kashi will really look to make it 2-0 before it's too late. Four changes made by the Blasters. Will we see a bit of the new striker in the house?
He's not been there for too long, Wasser, but I'm sure, if you're fit enough to train, you're fit enough to be signed. I'm sure as a player, as a professional athlete, you've got a minimum 20 to 30 minutes in you.
pleasant surprise.
Surely a bit of confusion, Ross, I think Keralablasters thought the throw-ins from their way, but Pages and his group of referees pointing in the other direction.
Anyway, Mala has been very smooth too. It's given away. Lovely touch to control it by Alfred Moya. Gets a free kick again. 20 more minutes.
I think that's where, so we're talking about communication. The communication between Alfred and Norris has been brilliant, trying to find each other. And the technique or the control from Alfred or even Sergio for that matter has been brilliant. It's been a good performance from the midfield play of Kashi when the ball's moving around amongst them.
The wrestling off the ball, but advantage allowed. Even thus, how many times have you won that free ball in the midfield? Koro moving away, has found Sandeep, cuts in the other way, a deflection on the cross takes off the venom. And now Marlon, Bartomeu is free, not a convincing touch. And now falls to Axel. Kevin York trying to curl it in. Was the right idea, not the right amount of power. It was a difficult attempt.
He didn't have much time on him. Kevin York. A little bit of afters between Mitchell. Victor on that occasion, you can see the ball gets played in towards Victor, fighting for that ball. Takashi losing the ball on the edge of the box. Kevin, right here, as soon as he's taken a touch, one extra touch, and you could count 5 extra Takashi players blocking him down, making sure he's got no space, or he has to thread the eye of the needle to get that ball past to Lewis and Takashi's goal.
To take some time with that as well.
But I feel Tejas is experienced enough to know exactly what Takashi are up to, and he's going to add the same amount of time on.
Still a brief chat about who was the one coming first into that push off the ball. It was certainly Bartomeu, but not necessarily for him.
As always, no footballer wants to be on the wrong side, and that's exactly what Mitchell and Victor were trying to do, prove their innocence. And both had their part to play. Victor trying to push Lewis down a little bit, even in a friendly manner, and Lewis trying to take advantage of that, and Mitchell just trying to waste some time at the clock. And he's done rightly so, but now needs to be seen whether it will be added on or not.
5 attempts blocked from the Blasters trying. Keeping their time on those throw-ins and set plays, why not? Have survived that phase of high-intensity attacks coming in from the Blasters, and now they might come out of their shell in the last 15 minutes, maybe after that drinks break.
Drinks break is the time password. They'll probably just regather themselves, Keralablasters, and then find a way to start attacking, or all-out attacking this Takashi goal. But then Takashi might just get a few opportunities off the road.
It was very well done by advanced rather, winning the possession in the previous attack. And Keralablasters get that call before the cooling break, a bit of a push from Victor Bartomeu, who's a frustrated figure at the moment.
But he just has to keep doing the right things, Vaso. He just has to keep on chipping at it in front of the kashi goal. That's all he needs to do. He's got the help of Atsal now right next to him. But before Keralablasters can create another attack, you've got Kashi making a change.
Yeah, Kartik Panicker coming in place of Rohit Tan. A bit surprising, but that also means they might move into a back five, because the last time I saw him play was a season ago when Arata Izumi was initially in charge of this side, and he started as a wing back. And we have seen Antonio Lopez Abbas really fancy that back five formation. There's another discussion we'll get into, Robin, that change from Habas to get into back four. But before that, we'll have a look at the chance created out here.
This is the biggest opportunity that Keralablasters got. Lewis not being able to gather that ball cleanly. Evan Das tried to just get something on that, and then Sandeep got into a brilliant position, gets the crossing, gets a deflection, and then Victor decided to go with his feet, and Basumit Basi just putting his body on the line, getting his head in the middle, and then again Lewis coming out and gathering that ball before Victor could get a touch onto it, stopping that attack completely for Keralablasters on that occasion. A couple of attacks have been created. David Katala will be happy, but something has to give, something has to change. Maybe a tweak in formation, going a bit more attack, and on the other hand, Kashi will just pack up that defense again.
Well, Kartik Panicker coming in, but again, getting back to the question, Antonio Lopez Abbas, once he entered the I-League, he saw the score he was given, and he wasn't rigid in his mentality to continue with the back five system which he likes to. He tried that in the first match in I-League. He saw that not working quite well, shifted to a back four, continued with that, won the league, and now starts in the ISL with a back four, gets back-to-back points, and when needed, he goes back to the system.
I think that comes from the fact that he's got his base set, but on the other side, we just saw Matthias go out, and you've got Jay Kutango, who we've been waiting for coming as well. Can he be the provider this time? New signing for Keralablasters there, sixth foreigner. Can he take them to seventh heaven?
All right, now Alfred Moya might take him Kashi to seventh heaven. Too good. Too useful. And two on the score sheet. Kashi just making it look too easy. Wow, that twins break really changes things. And that will really help this Kashi side to now protect that cushion they have.
Prashant doing very well firstly to keep that ball in play, recycling that ball. But again, it's that striking combination coming in. Alfred this time finishing the ball. It was seventh heaven, but it wasn't for Keralablasters. It was a number 7 for Kashi that steps up and slides that ball with the inside of his foot towards the bottom corner, beating Ash in goal once again tonight and giving a 2-goal cushion to Kashi. Now we've got a bit of a breather right after the drinks break.
Now what would you want? An individual player scoring 5 for your team and no one else on the score sheet, or having various outlets to score the goals. Many would fancy the latter. Kashi have that. Prashant, then Petkevicius, and now Alfred Moya. They are finding more and more goal scorers.
Kashi striking, strikers actually working together in unison. And I just don't mean Alfred and Norris, it's also Prashant who was involved, who set that ball up, and then Kashi is Alfred finishing that ball off.
Patrick Kanikar is not really moving into defense. He's settling on that wide left roll. He did well to stop and start, just ran out of space. They will move up to sixth, overtaking Bengaluru in Kashi. Keralablasters struck at the bottom.
We spoke about Keralablasters needing points, and right now it looks difficult. And for Kashi, it's too good to be true at the moment. 2-0 on the scoreline, clean sheet. This is turning out to be a great day at the office for the Kashi side. And we spoke about that back five. Now we can see when it comes down to defending, it's not a back five, it seems like a back six as well.
Right on that. Prashant and Karthik helping. And once again they will move out on the counter. Look at the awareness to find the pass out wide. Karthik. Sandeep has been rock solid, helped by Koro now.
And again on that wing, just winning that ball back, trying to conjure a few attacks, more attacks for Keralablasters. Just none of the attacks coming to fruition.
Strange way to win a free kick. But there's still time. Still time if they can get one first.
Kevin York quick on his feet, just moving that ball away from Alfred, who uses too much of his hands. But the referee's liking, and now Keralablasters have a dangerous position for a set piece. Now can they do something with it? Because the both deliveries from Vipin have been brilliant, but Evan Das is now on the ball. Can he provide the same sort of deliveries?
Not their plan too, but if they can score here, things can change. There is a player down for Kashi. It is the campus that is getting some treatment. And there will be a good chunk of time added on after 90, given the amount that was wasted, be it intentionally or not. So the Keralablasters need to strike now.
Hopefully the injury to Norris is not too bad, because at the moment we saw the physios sprain his hamstring. Hopefully it's just a bit of cramp and nothing too major, because he's had a brilliant start to the game.
There's a change coming in. There's a young Indian forward in the form of Ashish Chai. Another one has been picked up from the I-League itself, who is coming on. I haven't seen too much of him, but the little I've seen of him, I've seen that spark or intent to try at least. Evan Das floats it to the far side. No one knows how, but that has gone in, and that is perhaps the right time. The Keralablasters have got their first. 2-1, it's game on. There's a lot of time left to make it 2-2 as well. Evan Das does the trick. Patanu gets the goal.
Goal number 33 coming from Victor this time around. The number 7 finds himself free, just guides it with the bottom of his foot. What a brilliant finish from a striker, an absolute striker's finish. Evan Das putting that ball towards the far post. And Victor, the last man to get a touch on it, guys, the goal was getting Keralablasters back in the game. As I said earlier, Maswa, try until you succeed, and Keralablasters finally succeed. 84 minutes on the clock, a lot more left to play for. And there is a way that Keralablasters might want to find a way back into this game.
Possible, very possible with 6 minutes of regulation time, and at least as much coming up on the regional board I expect. It is very much practical, wonderful. Good touch from Kevin York. Here's now Chuck. Suddenly, the momentum has changed. Intakashi need to work hard to hold on. And if you see that replay again, it is the man who just came on the pitch who was marking Bartomeu, not really matching up with the physicality or the height.
Sometimes it's not about any of those factors, but sometimes you just have to disturb your opponent. Another occasion, when they get disturbed, was the net for Kashi by that finish from Victor.
A target fixture coming up for Morbakan up next against Mohammedan Sporting, the young guns with an all-Indian squad. Can they put up a challenge to the big shots of the league?
It's not impossible, but it will be hard. So the last time that Mohammedan won a game was quite a while back. But anything can change, anything can happen over a 90-minute game of football. And that will probably be the idea that Mohammedan will be looking for as well. That can they change their fortunes? Can they get their first win of this season?
One possession back with the Blasters. Here's Mohamed Afzal stepping away from Nisha. Just that belief in himself that he can get the ball from any defender in front of him. That is form, that is habit, as we were discussing a while ago.
Doing the right things, doing the simple things right, and chasing lost causes or half chances, Afzal making sure he's the last man to get something on. But this time, Lewis making sure he grabs onto the ball.
Oh well, he's held on for a bit too long, and here's the corner for Keralablasters. Looks like the case. It is Edin Das with the signal towards the head. To the far post. Oh, being given as a goal kick there. And the card coming out for Marlon for the complaints.
Peters taking no nonsense from Marlon on that occasion. Marlon clearly thought it's another corner of Keralablasters. The referee signaling towards a goal kick.
The next few minutes of defending for their lives in Takashi. That's the plan, the confirmation of the yellow card. But that is a risky plan to take against this Blasters side that is on the pitch right now. Falcon behind them. Edin Das certainly made impact. Koro's delivery. The defenders were confused as to who will be the one clearing it. Sandeep. They've put up a defensive wall in Takashi. But how long can they hold on? Bartomeu again avoiding his markers. Edin with the delivery.